Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Silent Hill 4. Last time we went to a very goofy water prison, met a new gentleman, and well, it seems to be getting a bit darker outside. Maybe days actually are progressing normally outside? It's really a bit hard to get a justification of the flowage of time within the apartment. But we are actually sitting on quite a few items right now, so I might as well go ahead and deposit those off. Obviously not going to be needing the bullet or the placard, but I will actually hold on to the Saint Medallion for right now. And we already do have 3 placards, they're kind of stacking up. And, well, we got about 60 bullets. I want to say that's a fair amount, but considering it takes about 10 to take down just a sniffer dog, it doesn't seem like we're doing too well. And Frank apparently is still having some argument with some unseen person living in the apartment, maybe? Who knows? I wonder if... Is Eileen up to anything? It appears that Eileen is slowly losing her mind as well. That's great. I can only assume during the voice acting they told her, you know, just have fun with it. And she did. But we saw the blood last time in the much larger hole. So I guess let's continue exploring, see where it may lead us. Well, it seems we are in a very garbage-strewn alleyway, and it actually looks like there's TV static coming through that door. And are those jumping figures? Yeah, that's a little background flavor you could easily miss, but you know, I kind of feel a little bit in danger in these horrible back alley streets, so I guess it's time to use the stun gun. And as we enter into what is commonly known as Building World, we're assaulted with mysterious vehicles. How did this car get here? And plenty of odd, really odd background noises. I'm not even sure what they're trying to get across. And we get to meet our first new enemy of the area. This thing is known as a Gumhead. And he's a pretty dangerous character. Thankfully, so am I. Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot more of them as we continue through the area, but kind of wanted to show off that the stun gun can be fairly useful. If I had to use one word for it, I would have to say it was stunning. But yeah, it can pretty much knock down any normal enemy with one shot. It's just extremely slow and extremely short. And Hotel South Ashfield. I think that's actually the sign across the street from our apartment building.
Ouch! Damn it. Where the hell am I? You're a real person. Hey, you're the guy that lives across from me.
Yeah, my name's Henry.
I'm Richard Braintree, from 207. What the hell's happened to us? That hole in this freaky world. But if you're here too, then there must be something wrong with the whole apartment building. That must explain what happened to that other guy too.
What other guy?
The guy who lived in 302 before you. A journalist. He disappeared one day. He got pretty crazy towards the end. Shut himself up in his room and wouldn't come out. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. You should too, if you know what's good for you.
Wait. Watch out for that kid.
So, as Dick Braintree walks off, we're assaulted by another two gumheads. And we're also given a little bit more backstory, at least in regards to, well, some weird happenings that had happened at the apartment beforehand, especially regarding apartment 203. But a little bit more information on the gumheads themselves. They mostly attack by punching. They do have something of a lunging punch, but for the most part, if you stick to the pipe, you can pretty much have range on them and not really be worried about them. What is that weird noise? It's nothing through those two doors, but maybe somebody partied a little too hard. Yeah, that right there is a ghost, and that ghost happens to have a sword jammed through its chest. Now, this sword was actually mentioned in the last update in that note. Also, we get a key out of the ghost's hand. But yeah, that is called a Sword of Obedience. If you down a ghost and jam it through a ghost, the ghost will not be able to move. Granted, the ghost won't be dead, but you won't have to worry about it. And that's why I'm going to let that Sword of Obedience do its job. Granted, there's only 5 Swords of Obedience in the entire game, but we definitely don't want that particular ghost chasing us around across spinal flooring and impressionist art. Also, we see an already upgraded version of the trimmer, and we don't care. The red trimmers do a little bit more damage than the blue ones that we saw in the water prison, but really they are not a threat whatsoever. Nothing too much in this room. Just some rancid pieces of flesh on shelving. Guess it's supposed to be scary, but can't really tell what it is, so kind of nullifies the fear. We also get some more pistol bullets, always useful. But what do we have here but a sporting goods store? And also a hole back to the apartment if we need it. But there is a golf bag or a golf club bag here. Sadly, all the clubs are bent and useless, except for this one on the ground. So we continue our collection of golf clubs, but there is one other very important item in this room, which is this aluminum bat. Yeah, the aluminum bat is, well, let's call it our second major weapon upgrade. Does quite a bit more damage than the lead pipe, or the steel pipe. Its one major drawback is that the charge attack takes forever, and it's actually got a much shorter range than the pipe. And since our inventory is slowly filling up, and someone seems to be knocking on our door, I guess it's a perfect opportunity to come back to the apartment. Is something wrong with Eileen? She seemed to be having a pretty fun time last time, watching some comedic movie film. Yeah, I mean, I guess she's just watching something else, but she doesn't seem to be in too much danger. Maybe that was referring to Richard. Well, I mean, he had a gun, so he was a little bit better off than we were the last time we saw him. But go ahead and deposit the pipe and the golf club and all that, because we won't be using them. At least not for now. Also, nothing too interesting going on, but we should keep in mind that we can actually see apartment 207 directly across from us. And it doesn't seem that anybody's home. So with our fancy new weapon in hand, it's time to continue exploring the building world. No idea what that could be. But we get a return of these sniffer dogs, and thankfully I have something just for them. There's a cracked spine. Yeah, the charge up attack does a stellar job at taking down the sniffer dogs. Even the regular attack, good 4 whacks with the bat will pretty much knock down these male sniffer dogs without a problem. And that is especially good because, well, we are actually in a pet store. And what better place to find horrific animals than in a pet store? And as always, Hummers are very annoying. But outside of all these enemies, there is a good reason for coming into the pet store. And that is in case we need enough cat food for an army of cats. Oh yeah, there's a key here too. First though, army of cats. Just really bizarre things to say, Henry. But yeah, we now have the key to the sporting goods store, which we were just in, but we do have an open door over here. Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh look, it's a ghost! In a very tight corridor. This is a great idea. Yeah, nothing better than enemies we can't kill that are actually faster than us now. And we're led into a very interesting, if not completely upside down room. But all in all, outside of the rather interesting aesthetic of the room, there's just one other door, and well, it's currently blocked off to us. I suppose we're just going to have to come back to it later. And that means we have to do some more stealthful dodging around this rather dapper looking ghost. There we go. That was completely by accident, but it worked out. So we just now have to head back to the sporting goods store. Already we can tell there's some tough times ahead as a few gumheads await for us at the bottom of the stairs. And one attempts to, well, ambush us from behind. There are actually 2 different types of gumheads. That one that just jumped us from behind is what's referred to as a new type. And these ones coming up the stairs with the less apparent red, God, that was a goofy little dance. Yeah, the ones with the more obvious red, or the less obvious red markings, these right here are called old types. They don't really have that much of a difference. Sometimes new types will have weapons, sometimes they won't. For the most part, well, just hope for the best and hope you don't get ganged up on too badly by these, well, incredibly weird simian enemies. Yeah, that, I should also point out, well, if you do happen to kill an enemy on stairs, it apparently doesn't have a very good animation for that. And it will spaz out just a tiny bit. Yep, and even more gumheads. That's there's going to be a common theme through the rest of this video. And also, personally, why, even though some people in the thread might not have agreed, this is a lot more combat heavy a section than pretty much any Silent Hill made so far in the series. That's kind of why I got the impression, especially with the assortment of weapons that we will be getting throughout the course of this LP, that this was just wanting to be a more combat heavy type of game. Which is a bit confusing to me because, well, Silent Hill isn't really known for its combat. And it doesn't look like that elevator's here, but I have a good feeling about this one.
Are you the kid he was talking about? You live in that apartment too, huh? Say, you look a lot like a little punk that I once caught sneaking around there. Do you know something about what's going on? Hey, you! Stop!
Richard certainly does have a way with children. I can only hope for the best for either one of them. But yeah, before we continue down that ladder, we need to actually go back up to the, well, this menu is a jumble fuck. But yeah, we actually need to go back up to the top because there's some actually easily missed but very valuable items waiting for us up there. The one thing you do want to be careful though is, well, that ghost we ran into before is actually in this very narrow hallway. And we're going to have to dodge him yet again because, well, there's a dead end. But for our troubles, we get a shovel. Very, very nice shovel, in fact. And we get to be penetrated by a ghost, but we also get a sword of obedience. We also get a nice view of the fact that, as opposed to the other ghosts we've run into so far, this one actually seems to be on par with our speed. So, yeah, let's go back down to the bottom floor. Mostly because the middle button, well, not bring us to anywhere that we need to be. And this is actually a dead end, but it does allow us a view of what we'll be seeing in just a little bit. Also, it allows me to show off the rather spiffy charge-up attack on the shovel. As you can tell, it's got quite a bit of range with that. and it actually charges up fairly quickly. Both very good points. But sadly it doesn't seem we can hit these sniffer dogs through the fence. So I'll just grab my pistol bullets and head back to the ladder which we saw previously. So we just got a nutrition drink that may be easily overlooked in what appears to be a shower room. And a few white toadstools that pose absolutely no threat to us. They're just here to waste our time. But as we take this ladder back up, we go into one of the more dangerous areas of Building World. This very narrow street, well, it's got about 2 gum heads and about 3 female sniffer dogs. And it's basically a recipe for disaster if you decide to start running through it. Instead, you want to try your best to take down enemies one by one. But in the case of the sniffer dogs, it's not really that easy of a task. Because basically, after you kill something, well, the sniffer dogs will sniff it out, and they'll come running for the taste of blood. And in the case of female sniffer dogs, well, you're going to be dealing with a lot more of a headache. That is, of course, unless you didn't make sure to pick up the shovel. Because as you can tell, well, one charge of attack from the shovel actually does quite a good job of knocking down the sniffer dog, and, well, as you can see, the stomp attack actually gets replaced by a downward thrust by the shovel. So what could normally be a very dangerous situation gets, well, pretty much nullified in a furious flailing of blood and, well, chivalry. And yeah, the final gum head, for some reason, well, I don't know, he kind of got bugged out on a wall. Now there is what I would say very major drawback to the shovel, which is the fact that its normal swing is, well, kind of shit. It's pretty slow, it doesn't do as much damage as the bat, and the slowness of it and the lack of, I guess, stunning it does, pretty much leaves you open for attack. That's why you really just want to stay with the charge attack. It does an amazing job. And if you're wondering about all those doors I passed, well, don't worry. They're all broken. From one dangerous situation to another, yeah, we got 1, we got 2, got 3, and in a second, yep, there's our 4th buddy. 4 against 1, it's a pretty dangerous back alley brawl we got going on here. But I think with this shovel in hand, you could say I can dig it. Yeah, thankfully the gum heads aren't as aggressive as they seem. You can actually keep them fairly well crowd control with the shovel. And just keep on whittling away at their health, and gradually this battle will be over. Very, very gradual. But if anything, once you knock them down, you do want to make sure and finish them off, because they will get back up, and you will easily find yourself surrounded. And we actually do have one more gum head, and this one is actually carrying a weapon. And the ones that carry weapons are the most dangerous ones of all. They actually attack very quickly. And though I didn't show it off, the new types will actually steal your pipe or a golf club from you. So you'll actually, well, you might end up losing a weapon if you're not careful. But for our troubles, we actually do get a new golf club, which equates to absolutely nothing useful for us. But at least that means we can continue on and have a little bit of a breather after, well, some actually very dangerous combat. And we just have, it almost seems like these are fire escapes repeated over and over again. But there are a few red tremors in this area, but nothing really we have to worry about. Actually, just a few nice, empty rooms. Yeah, even the red trimmers got their little selves whacked into pieces. But, hey look, it's another brand new weapon. A rusty axe. And don't be fooled by its name. The rusty axe is actually, well, a very powerful weapon. It's very quick. And it's, well, incredibly damaging. Actually, a bit surprising that after the last two worlds of not getting any new weapons, this one gives us 3 brand new and very good weapon upgrades. But from looking around the general area, we apparently have found ourselves in a bar. And it looks like there's a memo over here on the bar itself. And it appears that the boss of this bar has changed the 4-digit code on the door to the last 4 digits of the store's phone number. Amazingly enough, the bartender actually, well, kind of figured that if you have your number on a billboard, this isn't the best security, and he's right. Because we actually have those 4 digits from the phone number we can see right across the street on the billboard for Bar Ashfield. Uh-oh, it sounds like our good friend Richard is in trouble. Also, it sounds like we're in trouble because we have our friendly ghost pal ready to chase us down in this very open and very long running sequence up these stairs. Now, I could actually pop on my Saint's Medallion and it would pretty much make this entire sequence incredibly easy. But as you can tell, all you really have to do here is just keep running and you're not really in that much of danger. finally reach the top, well, we actually see a door from our own apartment building. And it's Richard's door. Along with a brand new placard. And that normally doesn't signal anything good. And yet again, we find ourselves seconds away from, well, possibly stopping someone from dying. And if we take a look out the window here, well, we can actually see a figure in Richard's apartment. And apparently it's pointing at apartment 203, or 303 I should say. Is Eileen in some kind of danger? Might as well go check it out.
Looks like another one, Captain. Got 121 on his head. It's just like that case from 10 years ago. Yeah, that Walter Sullivan case. But Sullivan's dead. They even got the body. Must be some crazy copycat. Yeah, but even so...
It could be a copycat killer, but still doesn't explain the little boy. And Eileen doesn't look in too much danger. She just looks like she's changed for a party. No, nothing much else to do for right now, so I guess we'll go ahead and call it a video, and I guess I'll see you next time for more Silent Hill 4.